Up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo. Few blocks before green, yet up in the jungle. Coke in the bundles, it's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands, I'm riding in vans. Slide through your land, hopping the sprinters. Tore the underworld, popping the minter. Landed the turtles, I'm popping that splinter. Watching the snowfall, dropping the winter. Dodging the pitfalls, watching this bitch fall. And I still managed like Rich Paul. The paper was calling, I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up it and squeeze, tuck it and leave, we leaving a stain. Fuck a Febreze, running the banks, causing a crashing. Feather the feds, Moorish the fashion. Horse was smashing, kicking the door. Wave on 4-4s, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm as Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Sanctuary of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the piece. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys. They going for 19. The summer is mine, I'm going for 19. Thunder and lightning, flooded a bright lane. The hunger was biting, biting. Up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo. Few blocks before green, yet up in the jungle. Coke in the bundles, it's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these.
Join us every Sunday, 4:44 p.m. Eastern, only on Patreon, as we welcome Chicago Crypto Block Bully Technical Analysis.
Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here. Welcome back to the channel for another update on Bitcoin. So
understanding technical analysis can mean the difference between buying here and buying here. And that's why I've decided to create price action, the movement of an asset or security's price over time plotted on a chart. All-time high, ATH, the highest an asset has ever been in price. Support, a point in the market where the price is less likely to drop below due to previous demand or price action. Resistance, a point in the market where the
You will learn behavioral economics. You will study historical market data. You will be able to identify trading opportunities. You will be able to evaluate any investment and many, many more. Please join us on Red Pillar's Patreon. Peace.
For 19, thunder and lightning, flooded a bright lane. The
there we go.
All right. We should be good right now. We should be good. Check. Microphone check. 1, 2. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursdays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, the brother Red Pill, reporting live and direct. This is episode 177, Aesthetic Nihilism, part 3. Part 3. All right. Let's get right to the roll call, and then we're going to get into this conversation tonight. You dig? All right. Shout out to everybody in the building. Salute. You said that beat is out of this world. What beat you talking about? Let me know what beat you referring to. All right. What up, Portland? Shout out to Portland in the building. What up, St. Louis? What up, Mississippi? Oak Cliff. What up, Buffalo? Rough Buff. What up, VA? What's good, Maryland? What up, Georgia? Phoenix, Harlem, New York. All right. Shy City. Bleh. I see you, Shy City. You dig? All right. Oh, the Red Opal beat. Fire. Yeah, that fire. That beat right there. That might be the best beat for my year for 2023. I heard a lot of beats, but that beat might have been the best interaction that I had with a beat this year. San Francisco, California. More California. We got more Georgia in the building. Los Angeles, Boston, we always here. You know, I'm talking about Brooklyn and ATL, we always here. Boston is always, yeah. Cali is always here. You know what I'm talking about? Blues Live was lit yesterday. Yeah, Blues Live was definitely lit. Shout out to Blue Pill. Me and Blue just came from a meeting earlier today at a film studio in Atlanta. Oh my goodness. Movie. I'm gonna show y'all a clip on the Instagram and whatnot. All I want to say is all of my Brujas out there, all of my warlocks, all of my magicians, you know, go put some good juju out there for us. You know what I mean? Because you know the haters is gonna try to sprinkle salt. So go and put some good juju out there, put some good magic out there, put the magic of manifestation because yeah, that part. Yeah, big things are going. You know what I'm talking about? Big things are going, man. Fayetteville in the building, Detroit in the building, Vegas is in the building, Florida in the building. You dig? Shout out to everybody in the building. I see y'all in the building, man. Deep. We have a powerful show tonight. We're going to have a conversation. It's going to be an extension of a conversation that we've been having. And this conversation is the build up to a very powerful lecture that I'm putting together called American Gods Part 6. And this lecture is going to debut on 7/7/7 on July the 25th, 2023. And I've been building on it. I've been building it up piece by piece, putting it together, doing some research. And I must admit that I've been doing some advanced research by utilizing AI to help me do my research. So I've been utilizing AI as a co-pilot, as a not a co-pilot, I would say as a co-worker. And man, oh man, let me tell you the breakthroughs that I've been able to have and the amount of research I've been able to dig up by utilizing these AI tools the right way. Yeah, it's an eye opener. You know what I'm talking about? It's an eye opener. And I'm really excited about where education and the way we teach for that matter, education, the field of education, and the way that we deliver the information is about to drastically change for the better. It's about to upgrade. And I'm excited about that. I'm really enthusiastic about what the future is going to bring. Yeah. Okay, the song that's playing at the start of the video, yeah, that's called Red Opals. And a brother by the name of Rain 910. He's the whatchamacallit?
he's the producer of that beat. You know what I mean? Son is a Beast. On the lyrics, he was on my song Candy Rain off the album Red Summer. And he also is a producer. He gave me a beat pack earlier this year, and that beat was in the beat pack. And I was in the airport going to New York, and the beat randomly just came on. You know, I had my song shuffling. No, they didn't give Little Yachty. They gave Little Uzi the #1 album. They gave Little Uzi Vert the #1 album in direct response to the KTL show. We're gonna talk about that tonight. You know, we're gonna talk about that tonight. Cool G Rap is from Queens. Cool G Rap is from Queens / Long Island, right? And they don't talk about Cool G Rap. They don't bring up Cool G Rap enough. They don't mention Cool G Rap in the conversation amongst the greats. He's not popping out with the there's like a good old boys club for the hip hop 50 that's popping out these days, you know, and he's not in that club. You know, seems like Big Daddy Kane is in that club. KRS One is in that club. There's a few, and they all deserve to be there. But I'm seeing the Hip Hop 50 pop-ups in different venues, and they got the same lineup. They got the same rotation almost, and they're just switching up a few people. Hip hop is very, very expansive, and I think that there's a lot more voices that definitely should be heard. You know, I wanted to go straight to this video where Tony Yayo is on the Drink Champs, and he's talking about Video Music Box. How many people saw that one right there? How many people saw the Tony Yayo interview on Drink Champs, right? Where he was reiterating a talking point that I brought up on this show on multiple occasions when I was trying my best, right? Attempting to teach my audience about the significance of certain brands in hip hop, right? So I was gun ho about Video Music Box, and then people was like, "Oh yeah, I saw the box. I remember the box. I was like 3 years old when the box was on," and I'm like, "Not that box." You know what I'm saying? Not that box, because I know the box that you're talking about. You're referring to the box where you could order a video, right, and actually call a phone number and actually order a video, right? Yeah, that's not the box that I'm speaking about. You know what I'm saying? The box that I'm referring to is Video Music Box with Ralph McDaniels that the brother Nasir Jones did a documentary on. If you didn't live in New York and you didn't have access to what they call what is that? Public access television, then you probably more than likely did never see the box because it wasn't on the major channels like NBC. You feel me? It wasn't on none of those channels. It was on UHF. You know, you had to have a hanger and you had to have a hanger wire and aluminum foil with a wrench sometimes to watch that damn channel. That's what the struggle was for those of us back in the days. You said music choice box? No. If it ain't, you know what you would know Ralph McDaniels. You would know Video Music Box used to be in the clubs too. Yes, they were some of the first ones to come with the cameras and show you some of that behind the scenes in the club, right? It was called Video Jukebox. That's the Video Jukebox is what I'm talking about. I'm talking. Yeah, that's the shit that I'm not talking about. People get confused and they think that that's what Video Music Box is, and I'm like, nah, that's not the. We used to watch that shit too. That was lit, but that comes after. Now, why people would be like, why is that so important? Why are you putting so much emphasis on a goddamn public access show? The reason why I want to put so much emphasis on a public access show is because of this. This public access show, even though people may try to minimize it nowadays, this public access show, in hindsight, may have been the most important show ever in the history of hip hop. And I don't want to get on some regional shit. This has nothing to do with me trying to shame somebody that's not from New York. Has nothing to do with it whatsoever. Because Video Music Box introduced us to artists from everywhere. They took us into all of y'all backyards. You understand? They groomed us and prepared us for Yo MTV Raps when we were introduced to hip hop, the expression of hip hop on from all four corners of this planet. No, Video Music Box was the only video show in that day, during that day and time. We're talking 87, 88, 89, 90, right? We're talking 86, 85, maybe even, I don't know how far back. Video Music Box might have went back to 82. Nobody in their fucking right minds was giving hip hop a chance on mainstream media. This shit that y'all see, where you was probably even born into it, where mainstream media is accepting hip hop like it's one of its own, like it's one of its children, like it's an art form that they respect. That is something completely new. That's a new phenomenon that did not exist in its early inception. It was criminalized. It was ridiculed, right? It was ridiculed and it was frowned upon. So Video Music Box and Ralph McDaniels, this man directed 400 videos. So not only was he debuting videos, he was the one behind the camera bringing them to life. He is instrumental, and I would say that his show is the most important show ever in the history of hip hop because it put a face and it gave an image and it showed more elements of hip hop than just listening to a song in a tape deck, because that's how we was receiving our music, through tape decks. We didn't have DVD players, we didn't have streamers and whatnot. It was not on the radio. They did not play hip hop on the radio. Mr. Magic was the only one playing that, and that was at a certain nighttime. That was at nighttime on the weekends. He was the one that broke artists by playing their videos. You understand? He was the one who showed us how they were dressing in Queens, how they were dressing in Harlem and whatnot. He was the one who showed us what Rob Bass looked like and whatnot. He was the one who showed us how clean Big Daddy Kane's flat top was. He was the one who showed us what the rope chains really looked like, because prior to that, seeing somebody that was dressed like that was almost like seeing a damn UFO or an alien coming through. It was like it was a sight to see, because everybody did not look like that. You know what I mean? And the hip hop artists were emulating street dudes. You feel me? They were emulating the street legends. It wasn't the other way around. Street people were not trying to emulate hip hoppers. East 49 said that he was YouTube before YouTube. Exactly the best way that I could kind of like, because I don't want to say MTV or Yo MTV Raps. When we say Yo MTV Raps and MTV, think Black Lives Matter in that context, and compare it to like what consciousness was doing on YouTube and what consciousness was doing, on DVDs, and then what they gave you with the woke movement and Black Lives Matter. That was so almost comparable to what Ralph McDaniels was giving you with the raw Video Music Box, the shit that didn't always come to it. They know the screen wasn't always clear. It was the UHF. It was like janky, but it was raw. You know what I mean? And you knew they didn't have industry fingerprints over it. You knew that they were not cherry picking the talent and whatnot. He was giving us a real, thorough, authentic expression about what hip hop was in our inception years. This was the years that everyone was forming. It wasn't just, it wasn't just me. It was generations that were older than us, and there was generations that were younger than us. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have this flood of where everything is saturated. Hip hop was not all over the world. It was confined. It was locked into 5 boroughs for the most part, even though it had its expressions on the West Coast and even in some places in the South and whatnot. But for the most part, the focal point was on the 5 boroughs. You feel me? And Ralph McDaniels, he gave us eyes to see. You feel me? He put a face to everything. He is a pillar. He is a pillar. And he's a pillar who is overlooked. Let me go and show you something real quick. So you're going to hear Tony Yayo almost like arguing with the host called DJ FN. Somebody who I was kind of fond of, but I'm looking at him kind of funny these days because he be saying some weird shit. You know what I mean? But here it goes.
Think about it. When you was a kid, Ralph McDaniels. No. We didn't have that in Miami. Y'all didn't have that in Miami? Oh, y'all didn't know about hip hop then. You crazy? Nah. You ain't know about. Nigga, Video Music Box was hip hop. Nori like this. You see this?
Nori's quiet as a fucking church mouse. Once again, Nori drops the ball.
There wasn't even no channel for hip hop or Video Music Box.
Speak up, Nori.
What was that? You had to pay for it. You remember you had to pay for this shit? $199. I know about Video Music Box.
Video Music Box is not the fucking box.
Pay for it. You don't ask for box. Don't say that. But that came later on. That wasn't video. So you didn't know who Ralph McDaniels was? No, we didn't know. You from Florida. No, we knew him later on through the source of the. But you didn't know about Video Music. You didn't get Video Music Box channel. No. Damn, that's fucked up. That's why when I see Ralph McDaniels, right? Think about it. When you was a kid.
Let me show you what Video Music Box is right here. That's Video Music Box. Right? That's how it looked when it was coming on. What Tony Yayo said, dun, 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 dun. That's the theme song. It was a dope ass intro. Dun, 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 dun. 5 minutes of funk. I believe it's an Africa Bambaataa song. And there's a documentary on Showtime. If you get a chance, check it out. It's called You're Watching Video Music Box. The untold story of the world's longest running video show, Video Music Box, a hip hop mainstay since '83. Video Music Box gave a platform to artists like Jay-Z, Nas, and Mary J. Blige before they hit it big. Host Ralph McDaniel archives amassed over 40 nearly years reveal the show's importance to numerous big-name musicians as well as kids that grew up watching. So, that is a staple for New York, bro. That is like, bro, this is just a way to spot fake New Yorkers for everybody that lives out of town. If a nigga talking all of that Brooklyn shit or that New York talk, and you be like, yo, who's Ralph McDaniels? And, oh yeah, it was Houdini, 5 Minutes of Funk. That's the song, Houdini. That was the jingle right there. If they don't know who Ralph McDaniels is, them man a fugazi. You know what I mean? That's them test tube New York niggas. That ain't the real town right there. But anyway, I don't want it to come across as arrogance from New Yorkers when we talk about certain things that we experienced and whatnot that other people may not have experienced, either because they didn't live out there, they wasn't tapped in, or they wasn't even born yet and whatnot. I'm just adding historical context so people know why we hail up certain people the way that we hail them up, and why we look up to certain artists the way that we look up to them. We look up to Run DMC and LL Cool J and Queen Latifah and MC Lyte and Run DMC and even the Beastie Boys to an extent. Big Daddy Kane, Bismarcky, Slick Rick. These artists, Dana Dane for, for a little, Dana Dane could get thrown in there. Dougie Fresh, King Son, KRS-One, you know what I mean? Tribe Called Quest, Q-Tip, Moni Love. These artists have Busta Rhymes. I just saw an interview with Busta Rhymes. He was on a podcast with some dudes in Miami and whatnot. I want to play that whole interview, but YouTube be tripping with the copyrights and all of that. He was tapping in and he was saying some real shit, bro. He's another one of those legends. He's a dinosaur. You understand? He's a dinosaur. Like he's literally a dinosaur, bro. He's been around. He's still relevant right now. He's still active right now. He still look healthy and whatnot. He's still physically fit. You feel me? He's still winning and whatnot. You have to give it up to some of these icons who've been able to maintain integrity through their art craft, right? Because I ain't talking about all of that other shit where people like to get into people's personal lives and get into all of that fanboy stuff. Yayo said that Biggie was a better storyteller than Ice Cube. Biggie is a better storyteller than Ice Cube, and I promise you, I'm one of Ice Cube's biggest fans. Rakim, I didn't say Rakim, definitely Rakim. It was like Big Daddy Kane and Rakim is Nas and Jay-Z back then. Okay, there is no Big Daddy Kane without mentioning Rakim, the same way that there is no Jay-Z without mentioning Nas, respectfully. The same way that y'all not gonna mention y'all not gonna mention Notorious B.I.G. without mentioning Tupac's name. They're tethered to one another. Okay, and he to me, Ice Cube is an excellent storyteller. You understand, to the fact that he went to start telling stories in Hollywood. But Biggie is definitely, to me, lyrically, he was a better storyteller. And his delivery and everything. But Ice Cube, for everybody who may not have known, and you may only know Ice Cube from Friday, when I was coming up, Ice Cube's pen was one of the most feared pens in the game. And as a gangster rapper, he was one of the most feared rappers at a certain point. I know it's hard to understand. I know it's hard to fathom and whatnot. But yeah, it was a period where Ice Cube was a beast with it. And I'm sure that Biggie got inspired by Ice Cube the same way that any rapper did. But that man right there, Christopher Wallace, his pen is different. His pen definitely, but his pen is crazy. I think that he diluted his legacy for, once again, because I'm able to now look at the world through the eyes of children that were born in the years 2000 and the years of the late 90s and the mid 2000s and things of that nature. They see things completely differently. They see things usually for what's in front of them. They see Ice Cube and that nigga is Craig. He's Craig. He's not even Doughboy. You understand? Then they figure, oh, I seen Ice Cube from Craig. He was in Boys in the Hood. But they're not talking about Kill at Will. They're not talking about Death Certificate. They're not talking about Birds in the Hand is Worth More Than a Bush. They're not talking about Do You Want to See Steady Mobbing and all of that. They're not talking about when he was with Hank Shockley and all of them, America's Most Wanted, when he was the most militant, quote unquote, gangster rapper on the planet, bar none. He was harder than Tupac and with some of that gangster shit when he linked up with Khalid Muhammad and he was doing America's Most Wanted, Kill at Will, and Death Certificate before. But Pac, of course, later on raised up. But all I'm here to do, I'm here for the timeline. I'm here to put things in perspective because the timeline is very important, that we are able, and this is what I'm going to do for y'all too. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm going to do for y'all because the second half of 2023 is my theme and my underlying theme, or you could say powered by Hip Hop 50. That's going to be the theme. The theme for the first half of 2023 was AI, right? Almighty intelligence and artificial intelligence. And going into the second quarter, moving forward, it's still going to be artificial intelligence, but it's also going to be Hip Hop 50. I'm going to have a panel on this channel where I'm going to bring historians, I'm going to bring artists, and I'm also going to bring some of your favorite lecturers and whatnot. And we're going to have a conversation unlike anything that ever has been had, because we're going to capture a lot of things about this culture that people may not even know of. We're gonna have a build. We're gonna have a big build. We're gonna have a historic build. You feel me? Peace to the God. Jamal Hilt. Yeah, you see how that works? You see how the great divine works? We're gonna play. We also gonna have a panel where we're gonna bring all God hop artists, all conscious God hop artists to the stage and whatnot. And we're gonna play our music, and we're gonna have a cipher, and we're gonna talk about this 50 clip right here. You know what I mean? This is something that really needs to be looked at and examined with a fine-tooth comb. And we have to ask ourselves questions about where we going when the next 50. Because this 50 right here, this shit was there was a lot of ball dropping. Pause. There was a lot of balls dropping, meaning a lot of balls got dropped because the bag didn't really get gotten. It didn't really get gotten the way that it could have got gotten. There was some pocket tapping that was taking place. Look. So this is what the Bronx looked like in the 70s, right? This is what the BX looked like, right? This is the Bronx. These are the burning buildings that I was telling you about. They were all throughout the Bronx, right? This is where hip hop started from. This is what it started as. Okay? And this is the hip hop festival buyers, the owners, and the booking agents. You understand? And this is what's behind the scenes, right? Of this art form that was created out of these abandoned buildings and whatnot, out of these dope houses. You feel me? Out of these community centers, out of these project hallways, out of these pissy elevators. You feel me? Out of the pools of blood in the front court of the projects. This is who, in these 50 years, right, of this art form, or the 50 years of this culture, and remember the culture is 5 pillars deep. We talking breakdancing, we talking graffiti, we talking MCing, we talking DJing, because the top paid DJs don't look like us. The top paid graffiti artists is selling in Christie's and Sotheby's. They don't look like us, fam. You understand? They made millions of money. They made multi-millions just exporting this shit overseas, and nobody from the hood got kickbacks. Even the artist is fucking starving, bro. So if the main act, if the nigga that's on the stage is his ribs is touching, then you know that they making sure no crumbs is trickled down into no hoods and whatnot. They not feeding no hoods off of hip hop. They catching all them crumbs at that table. Facts. To the point where they got these niggas chicken scratching, right? And really on some, they fighting for one biscuit, bro. All them niggas at that white party was fighting for one biscuit. You understand? One bucket. Because these are the people who made trillions off of rap. If rap been around for 50 years and Apple cleared $3 trillion, nigga, you mean nigga, if Apple is $1 trillion company, what the fuck did hip hop gross and do the books? What are you telling me hip hop grossed in 50 years? Throw in, because we talking hip hop. Once again, don't confuse it with rap music. You're thinking short term. That is a worm's eye view. We're talking about looking at it from a bird's eye view. Hip hop is the culture. Embrace it. Ye are rich, my nigga. You got to look at it from a place of wealth. You got to look at it from a place of big dog ownership. Like, nigga, we built this shit. You don't look, I'm not approaching it as a victim. I'm not approaching it like, woe is me. This is an open source culture. What does that mean? That means everybody has the opportunity to put their hands in it and do what thou wilt with it. It is open source. It's for everybody, right? And these people put together a conglomerate. They put together a machine. They put together a Trump type, almost mafia like type of thing behind the scenes where niggas cannot penetrate it. Okay? And they've monetized our art form in ways that we can't even fathom. You understand? In these last 50 years. And let's not talking about what they did with reggae, what they did with R&B. They behind the table at all of them shits. They were the ones who helped push DJ Calvin and all of these other pink toe DJs to be the top DJs and whatnot, and to run over to Europe and make fucking garage and electro and all of this other shit, lit off of the foundation of hip hop. Right? 50 years. I don't know. Russell Simmons is on a run. So is Bambaataa. You know what I'm talking about? And nobody owns no type of insurance policies, right? You don't see the old rappers don't have the Columbia teeth. You know what I'm talking about? Them niggas don't got Mario Montana teeth, nigga. They not getting the new jibs and whatnot. They don't have dental insurance. They don't have health insurance. They just had an article where they try to knock off where they suing the hospital for knocking off MF Doom, the supervillain, over in Leeds. I was in Leeds, UK, and whatnot. Over there, he died. He got killed in one of their hospitals. Right? Look at what they've done to the culture. This nigga Diddy is doing he ran with the We Buy Black motif. This nigga launched, he ran with the Mark 125th idea. And this nigga's launching online black online black marketplace, right? We're gonna go to his page and see his newest attempt at a grift. Because that's exactly what that shit is. So you got your billionaires that's still grifting and whatnot. You know what I mean? A fucking billionaire is out here launching some weak shit and telling niggas that he delivers directly. He could deliver the Ciroc directly to you. He got some shit called Diddy Direct, nigga. And you niggas is talking black excellence. You supposed to be impressed by that? And Twitter and fucking Elon and Mark Zuckerberg is out here having wars by launching platforms. And Diddy is still jogging for fucking spirits, nigga, for liquor. Come on now. Y'all out of your mind. This 50-year shit is a fucking joke. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to dress it up. We're going to put some lipstick on a pig and whatnot. But theoretically, this shit is a joke. 50 years. Niggas don't have 50 cents to rub together. Right? So 50 years of hip hop in his 50th year. Right? This is what you give us? Ye are rich. Ye are rich, right? They say that we are rich. Our people are supposed to be rich. The culture feeds the world. This is the culture that feeds the world. This is the culture that help people in Africa level up to where they got Afro beats. They got a whole fucking movement going on. This the culture that helped feed niggas in Puerto Rico to the point where Bad Bunny is out there lit. You know what I'm talking about? He doing shows with 80,000. This the same culture that niggas in Jamaica and the Caribbean and whatnot And they started mimicking that. And now you got Vibes Cartel and all of these other dudes that are like hip hop artists mixed. So this is a culture that feeds the world, like Mandarin. This is the culture that, you know, and once again, we're not talking just rap, because everybody can't be a rapper, but you could be a graffiti artist, you could be a graphic designer, you could be a clothes designer, you could be a apparel designer, you could design orange juice bottles and whatnot. You could design whatever the fuck you want to do, because you're a natural born artist and your art is your quote unquote skill set that you could cash in these days, because we live in a creator economy and all of these other economies that you could basically get, you could live good just based off of what the fuck you naturally came here to do. You could dance TikTok videos and be rich, have a whole following, and be a influencer. You could have happy feet and you could dance. Hip hop is a dance thing. You could teach Chinese children in China how to dance. Why don't they have any what they call cultural exchange programs where the children in China that know how to build shit teach us manufacturing, and we teach them how to do these dances that they always want to do, or we teach them how to do graffiti, how to talk hip hop, how to walk hip hop. Your culture is being sold, and you not the one selling it. Somebody else is selling it and making billions of dollars. I promise you. I shit you not. And they do it in your name and whatnot, and they mostly do it outside of America where you're not looking. But black workers comprise 90% of recent unemployment spike, data shows, right? A new Bureau of Labor Statistic report published Friday found that black Americans make up nearly 90% of those who are unemployed in the US since April, right? What the fuck are they telling you? Nigga, there's two ways to look at this. One, damn, everybody's an entrepreneur now. You know what I mean? The financial serial entrepreneur wave is lit, and everybody fired their boss, and everybody's on Instagram selling courses. You know what I'm talking about? And on TikTok, you know, doing OnlyFans. I don't know. Everybody's a gig worker. Everybody's working Uber. That's one way of looking at it. And then the other way, which would be the glass half empty, is saying, damn, nigga, y'all got washed in Biden's America. You took the bag and you fell into the sunken place. You know what I'm talking about? 90%? God damn. That's a lot of PlayStation games being played. And when I see that, it puts a smile on my face, because I say, well, God damn it. That means it's a lot of black people at home with time on their hands. We could be building $1 million apps right now. We could really be getting to the bag. We could be day trading. Shit. We could be, we could have a workspace where we doing 8 jobs in different what they call gig platforms. Fiverr, Upwork, you know, freelance.com, all of these gig platforms where you could be offering services and whatnot, and then use AI as a tool to do those services. And then you getting mad jobs all day. You might get 20 gigs. Are you dumb? You know what I'm talking about? So for people that are unemployed, that's a good thing. You niggas got time to become the new millionaires, because they're being made every day right now. Don't fall for the okie doke. You niggas, if you didn't, let me shut up. Let me slow it down. You know what I mean? 90% of the workers are in the US. They saying it's all our people. Okay. And this is before they struck down the affirmative action, right? So if they run down on the affirmative action in corporate America or in a corporate place like they're doing it in education, oh, they really about to start hitting niggas with the pink slips, right? But this is my thing. AI is out here taking jobs, right? But the jobs that they're taking, somebody is gonna come and he's gonna use the AI to take the job. The AI is like, it ain't like you go into your desk and whatnot on Monday and the fucking AI has taken over your desk and he's sitting there with his feet on the desk. No, they're going to bring in an engineer who knows how to prompt and whatnot, and he's going to use the AI, and the AI is going to take the place of about 50 people. But once again, with everything that's going on with the unemployment, a big deal. Crypto is braced for a $30 trillion earthquake after Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, XRP, Cardano, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Solana, Tron, and Polygon price boom. I wonder what they're gonna say about all of that fuck shit the niggas was talking about when they was making fun of the crypto shit when it was going through its bear market, when they were celebrating people's misfortune, right? Because they didn't have any fortune themselves. So it's easy to celebrate somebody's misfortune than to sit back and celebrate when a nigga's winning and whatnot. You know you're gonna feel like Adam 22 trying to celebrate with a nigga when you weren't even invited to the party. So you always your default is gonna be to hate and to wish motherfuckers take a fall because they have something that you don't have, like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like XRP, like Dogecoin. So because you missed the train and you missed the bus and you late to the party, then you just want to sabotage everybody else. I wish the plane crashed then. I wish the fucking train goes off the track. I wish nothing but bad luck on people so these niggas don't make it to the moon, because if they make it to the moon, then my shorty gonna be like, why you ain't up there? That's how these niggas think. So you could have been firing your boss. You could have been at home when this fucking bear market was, when this shit was down and out for the last year and change, putting all of your motherfucking Bitcoin and all of your little shit coins to the side, stacking your wallets up, because you niggas is about to see new rich niggas in a few minutes. You about to see a new batch of new rich niggas, because this shit is about to blow the fuck up. And all of these crypto bros is about to come out of hibernation, and they about to pop their collars and talk shit and give you niggas FOMO and anxiety. Promise you, that's coming in a minute. Okay? When you could have been building up and preparing to be rich again, right? Once again, and this shit happens in cycles and whatnot. So we're gonna see in a few weeks who was really putting shit to the side and who was really building up versus who was talking shit and bullshitting and not doing nothing, just hating. You know? But if they firing people from your jobs, tell them, you know what? You know, you got time. You should be focusing on where real shit is going down. And that's in the field of AI, that's in cryptocurrencies, Web3. It ain't fucking packing boxes at Amazon. You know what I'm talking about? All of that remedial stuff that black people necessarily would do. No, all of that shit gone. You niggas, the help, they found a new help for you. You niggas that was the help. Yeah, you niggas that was the help and was getting by just being the help. Yeah, your help is no longer needed. They have AI. It don't talk back. It don't take long breaks, nigga. Don't come back smelling like sensimania. You know what I mean? They yes, it's been a fucking reset. Shit has been replaced. Okay? Get with the times. But my thing is this: be the nigga that's replacing the niggas that's getting replaced. Okay? It happens every 30 years. So a CEO fires 90% of support staff saying AI outperforms them. I'm telling you, and I was saying it before and I'm going to say it again. If you belong to one of these vocations where AI can replace you, and you're not studying how you could use AI to replace a nigga, then you about to be replaced. And what the fuck do you want me to say? What you want me to say? You want me to make you feel good? We was telling you for months, yo, learn this shit, get certified, get in your fucking bag, stop playing games and whatnot. This is it. It's niggas who took my first lecture and they getting $300,000 being prompt engineers for companies right now, or for just being early, my genius. Come on now. This shit happened in a span of 6 months in real time in front of everybody. Y'all saw the rise of this shit take off, and you could have been in that quote unquote. You could have been sitting in that plane. I told y'all. The plane done left already though. It's too late. Shit is in the air, bro. It's too late. If you ain't on it, then you ain't on it. You know what I mean? You're just gonna sit back and watch. Because according if we let you tell it, you know, this is the end. This is what Bobby told you though. Didn't you niggas get prepared from Bobby Hemmett to finish this shit off? Wasn't this shit supposed to crash? So I you know, if anybody was gonna do it, more than likely it's gonna be the AI. But right now, before it destroys the world, it's destroying the workforce. It's destroying jobs. You understand? It's destroying because they don't want to pay you niggas no more. They don't. Who the fuck wants to do payroll? Who wants to pay a nigga $100,000 a year? If they could clear that shit up, they're gonna do it. Don't you know that capitalism is about the bottom line? You went into these jobs thinking that people cared about you, and not you don't understand, and you probably didn't study capitalism. Capitalism is exactly about the bottom line. If there's a company that have 3 people and make a $3 million versus a company that has 3,000 people that makes $3 million, that company with 3,000 people in the eyes of Wall Street and the capitalists, they're losing. They're losing. So the company's going to have to all conform because they don't want to lose. You don't want to be the cannon fodder. You don't want to be the cannon fodder, right? So here are some of the facts. So we don't make this thing about how I don't fuck how anybody feels. It's not about how anyone feels. I'm going to just give you some of the facts of this revolution that's taking place before our very eyes, right? So these are some of the talking points that big businesses looking at. These are some of the talking points that small businesses. These are some of the talking points that people who don't have a job anymore, but they got a nice little severance pay, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to get into something, you know, smarter and not harder, right? So they look at the AI and say they turn to the AI and be like, well, shit, if you snatch my, you know what I mean? If the AI was the reason why I'm not working and whatnot, well, let me find out what this shit is about. Because maybe I could become a competition to the company that just fired me. Maybe I could boss up that hard with this AI. So generative AI, like ChatGPT and Midjourney, is called generative AI. So whenever you hear about those, just think generative AI, like, you know, generator, operator, destroyer. Generative AI, like ChatGPT and Midjourney, costs almost nothing and could perform thousands of dollars worth of labor per month. Therefore, the best expense is no expense. Use generative AI to focus on cost avoidance, right? This information that I'm reading to y'all, this information is tailored to businesses, right? This is their pitch deck. This is what big businesses, this is what enterprise is reading. This is not for the average person, okay? So the best expense is no expense. Sometimes this means replacing humans or augmenting them. Make more money with fewer inputs. Avoid losses, expenses, and risks. Golden rule. Look at your business expenses and target cost centers. Use generative AI to reduce risks, SWOT, etc. Labor and headcount, department and vendors, tools and services. Leadership augmentation. Generative AI has a tremendous potential to develop management, leadership, and executives. You'd be like, oh, I ain't gonna be working for no AI. Okay, no, nobody said that you had to, but I promise you, I could guarantee you that there's somebody that will. Okay? I promise you that there's going to be somebody lined up and they're going to work for the AI management and they're going to work for AI leadership. They're going to be a part of that program. You could bet your bottom dollar. Empathy. Tools like ChatGPT can help you be more diplomatic and empathetic. Empathy and vulnerability can build trust and other intangibles. Introspection. These tools can also help you be more introspective and reflective. Self awareness is critical for effective leadership. Smarter. Generative AI can help you learn more, learn faster, test your understanding, and accelerate your self education. If you don't use these tools for self improvement, then your competition will. Ethics and courage. Tough decisions lay ahead. The competition may try to undercut you, and there will be tremendous competitive pressures. We are staring down a huge market disruption. Some businesses will implode. Remember Borders? Remember Borders was the bookstore that Amazon ate up. Layoffs and pivots are coming. Remember telephone operators? So pivots are basically businesses are going to go from one direction and pivot right into the next. So you may be in a corporation right now, you may work in a business that is doing things one way, and because of AI and what they have to do, they have to adapt. They're going to pivot and start moving in that direction. So look out for that. Be careful about compromising your principles. At the end of the day, that's all you've got. Trust. Make decisions that prioritize earning and retaining trust, which is customers, employees, shareholders, and everyone else. Dignity. Prioritize human dignity at all levels and decision points. You will never regret that. Respect. Likewise, prioritize respect for human rights, privacy, needs, and feelings. Technology force multipliers. Remember this word and write that down. Technology force multipliers. Okay? So what the ox or what the oxen did for farming, and then after the oxen, what the tractor did for farming, right? It was a force multiplier. Okay. So those a force multiplier is that it multiplied the force of what an ox can do. That's what a tractor did. It multiplied it by about 4 to 10 times. Okay. So the LLMs or generative AI is a technology force multiplier. It's going to shift things because it force multiplies everything. Why do we use tractors and other heavy equipment? Heavy machinery does the same work that humans can do, but tractors can do more and do it faster and ultimately do it cheaper than humans can. Industrial agriculture and other heavy machines are physical force multipliers. Generative AI is a cognitive force multiplier. Okay, so write that down and do your research. It's a cognitive force multiplier. And when you look at it from that angle or when you research it from that perspective, you are going to approach it differently. You're going to see it differently. And if you're a creator, an inventor, or anybody who's a developer, then that's a better way of looking at this technology. Okay, better. Generative AI like ChatGPT has already been demonstrated to be superior to humans in a few circumstances. It would be a mistake to think that this is the new normal. This trend is rising quickly. ChatGPT has better clinical judgment than many doctors. ChatGPT has better executive reasoning than some CEOs. Golden rule: look for activities and tasks where generative AI is demonstratingly superior to humans. This will give you a huge competitive advantage. You will need to do experiments and hire consultants. You will need to measure things qualitatively and quantitatively. There is no different from using a machine to do things that humans cannot or could not or should not do. So that's how they're looking at this new technology. These are just a handful of some of the tools that are out on the market right now. Not you got to wait for it. These are at your hands and at your fingertips right now. Anybody who wishes to pick up any one of these tools, they are available to you. A majority of them are free or they have free trials. These tools are mind blowing, okay, at the things that they're able to do, especially generative AI. You know, it's almost like magic. Chat GPT may be coming for our jobs. Here are the 10 roles that AI is most likely to replace. So these are the jobs that a person like me, I'm not looking at it from a perspective of somebody just sitting around waiting to lose a job. I'm looking at, if Chat GPT is coming for these jobs, then I'm gonna come for it with Chat GPT. You understand? So tech jobs like coders, computer programmers, software engineers, and data analysis. Coding and computer programming are in-demand skills, but it's possible that ChatGPT and similar AI tools may fill in some of those gaps in the near future. Tech jobs such as software developers, web developers, computer programmers, coders, and data scientists are pretty amenable to AI technologies, displacing more of their work. That's because AI like ChatGPT is good at crunching numbers with relative accuracy. In fact, advanced technologies like ChatGPT could produce code faster than humans, which means that work can be completed with fewer employees. We took a team of software developers. What took a team of software developers might only take some of them. Tech companies like ChatGPT makers, OpenAI are already considering replacing software engineers with AI, right? Media jobs, advertising, content creating, technical writing, journalism, legal industry jobs, right? Like the Moors, y'all about to get put out of business in a minute and you won't be able to do niggas paperwork because AI is coming for that. You understand? But as Moors, what would I do? I would go and program an AI tool so I could do Moorish paperwork. I will go and make sure to program an AI legal tool to do the paperwork the same way that I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't take your job. You can use it to enhance your job. Okay. This is a report from Goldman Sachs. Potentially large effects of artificial intelligence on economic growth. This is about, how many pages? This is about 20 to 30 pages. Good research. You could Google it and get that article. I believe it's free on the internet. This research paper. Okay, market research analysis. All right. So all of these jobs are being taken. Teachers, right? But once again, like I'm saying, it's going to take teachers' jobs and it's going to replace it with these AI tutors and whatnot. But as a homeschooler or as a person who just got fired and whatnot, and you have a burning desire to teach children, you've had it all your life. Now you have an ally. Now you don't have to wait for these cocksuckers to hire you because you know that they're biased and you know that they don't want to hire you. So it's time to begin to create your own things. CEO, control, equity, ownership. Build your own ship. Build your own operations, or you're just gonna sit back and watch people on Instagram and TikTok and goddamn TMZ brag about how their businesses are doing fucking great and how they have these break and how people are throwing money at them and this thing is printing money when you could have did the same damn thing. Your passion and the things that you are skilled and you know the things that you are gifted to do. Now is the time to take that opportunity, right? Because these jobs are not necessarily being lost, they're being replaced. They're being replaced, they're being upgraded. Okay? There's a shift taking place, but you have a place in the shift, a big place. So, yeah, you might get fired because now it's time to be a boss. It's time to be a boss. It's time to be a unicorn. It's time to be a startup. It's time to get out your comfort zone. Yes. So these are the 20 jobs that ChatGPT can replace. But if they can replace them, that means that you can go on Fiverr, you can go on Upwork, you can offer your services in any one of these jobs that the AI can replace, and you can use the AI for the job. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I don't want to go over anyone's head. What I'm saying is these are all opportunities to make money. So if the AI could be a travel agent, then as a human being who wants to not work for nobody, just have a gig, you work for yourself, you're a contractor, you could go on one of these platforms and offer your services to say, yo, I help put together travel plans, I help put together trips, I'm a travel agent. But you have a tool that you can use for research purposes, to help automate the process and whatnot. You use the AI tool, you use ChatGPT the same way that a plumber will use his tool belt. That's what this is right here. So you can do you could use an AI tool to do any one of these things, and you can make the bread off of it right now. Because the AI is not doing all of this shit right here automated. They're not. You don't misread what they're saying about what these AI tools are doing. Don't misread it. The new marketplace is gig platforms. It's not that shit where they gotta pay you niggas for life insurance. That's not what they want to do. They would rather outsource the work just to gig workers. The Fiverr business model. This shit is moving into a gig platform type of thing where they don't have to be responsible and babysit motherfuckers. They don't even want HR departments anymore. They'll have AI doing things automated, but when they want humans, they're going to outsource it to Africa for $2 an hour. Do you know that the majority of all of these AI machines were built in Africa at slave labor? The majority of LLMs, the large language models, the top ones, were built from the bottom with slave labor. The same way that the electric cars, the same way with the diamonds, the same way with the gold, the same way with the fucking the coltan for the phones. All of this fly shit that we're interfacing with at the fucking bottom of it, at the root, at the root of it, is trauma, because it's slave labor, it's melanated slave labor, mostly on the continent. And we'll dive into that as we move. I'm gonna really dig into it during the lecture. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take a deep dive and dig into it in the lecture. But hopefully we'll get to that story before the 25th. But if I'm not able to cover it up until then, to show you, I got multiple articles about what the fuck is going on and how once again there's a foundation there. It's almost like a ritual. There's a foundation that they're using. There's a foundation in which they're building these billion-dollar, trillion-dollar machines off of. You feel me? It's almost like a ritual. It's almost like they have to build it on the suffering. It has to come from the suffrage. It has to come from exploitation. It has to come from it has to be dug out of the earth at the hands of what could be considered, an indentured servant, or maybe even worse, a chattel slave. You know. So yeah, this 90% of our people making up the unemployment increase, that could be looked at in many different ways. I would love to get your take on it. I don't want to be the only voice that's echoing my sentiments about this trend that they're reporting and whatnot. Um, but shit, numbers don't lie, right? If that's the case, if they say that 90% of the people who got laid off after that fake Black Lives Matter shit wore off, after they convince you to go and get the jab or you're going to lose your job, after they twisted your arm, turned your arm, had our people out here risking their health and whatnot to put that nanotechnology in them, then they still turned around and fired them. After all of that Black Lives Matter, that pump faking and whatnot that you niggas was falling under to put Biden in office, once that wore off, they started cutting niggas off. You feel me? And like I said, after this affirmative action thing, when it starts to trickle down to corporate America, the people who are in those positions, yes, they're gonna get rid of them. But all of that shit where you was like the stock, you was the nigga in the mailroom, they don't need you no more. You all of those remedial jobs have been replaced. So let that shit go and tap into your skill set. Don't be a rapper. Tap into your skill set, tap into your gift and your talent. But all that other shit, learn coding or something. But the remedial shit that our people was getting by for mad long, being the glorified help, yeah, that's over with. That's done, you know. So this right here is interesting. You know, if anybody's been following the narrative when it comes to Elon and and our observation of him, we call bullshit on his fake ass, news conference where he was trying to stop the progression of AI, and he was fake signing letters and whatnot. I called it out from the first instant. I said that appears to me as him being mad at his competition for having such a long head start, and he's trying to slow down their progression. He's trying to sprinkle salt. This nigga's trying to flatten the tire of a bus that just took off. So he pops back up with, he's all over the place. You know what I mean? Mark Zuckerberg is going to try to a world star. They're going to try to get in the ring. He got beef with Mark and whatnot. Then he got beef with Sam and shit over at OpenAI. So he's being spread thin right now. But if anybody's been following the journey of Elon Musk, then ultimately Elon Musk has been all about transhumanism, AI, right? And transhumanism from day one. That is his ultimate goal. That is why he's here. That's why he has Tesla. These are companies that he basically were using as cash cows to do what? To fund his research in transhumanism. Okay? Because all of the upstarts that are in big tech, right? All of these names that they've made household names, from Bill Gates all the way down, they are all following in the footsteps of their thought leaders. They didn't just pop out of nowhere. They're all here to advance the teachings of ones that came before them. These are all students. You understand? These are all students. They're just not popping up saying, "Oh, this is what I'm about." You understand? First and foremost, this is the man right here that they're students of. You understand? He's not the only one, okay? But his name is very heavy in the circle of the futurists and people who are progressing towards what is known as transhumanism. Okay? Ray Kurzweil. Okay? Ray Kurzweil is the futurist. So Elon Musk has always been about, this whole thing about, I would say, the Superman. It's the same shit that Hitler and them was talking about with the Superman. Elon Musk is talking about going to Mars. Why? What was his whole thing about going to Mars and building a colony? He said that he wanted to go to Mars and build a colony to escape the dystopian conditions that the Earth is going to be under because of AI and because of climate change. Right? The whole company, the Boring Company that builds the tunnels and whatnot, his whole thing is about escapism. His whole thing is about, existent. I always mess that word up. Existential threats, right? The AI poses, okay? But at the same time, he'll always act like he's this good person. Like he's always trying to frame himself like he's a Tony Starks and whatnot. But this is a South African, okay? This is a South African that y'all have to know this man's intentions are definitely very nefarious and whatnot. So he announced that he's opening up an AI firm called XAI. And the interesting thing about this company that he launched is that he said the reason behind this company, or what this company's quote unquote modus operandi is that he wants to understand the true nature of the universe. So peep that and keep that in mind. Understand the universe, right? So we know that they talk in code language, and we know that's how they speak to each other. So just pay attention to this, right? He just launched a website. He said the goal of XAI is to understand the true nature of the universe, right? So they launched the website. This is their Twitter and whatnot. They got a whole bunch of members. Da 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 da. So he's at war with OpenAI, the people who came out with ChatGPT, who he was once a part of. He's an early investor, and then he backed out and whatnot. So this is Ray Kurzweil, and Ray Kurzweil talks about the 5 epochs, right? In technology, right? So the 5 epochs in technology are the epochs that all of these scientists are following right now. So the 6 epochs of technology evolution, as defined by Kurzweil. Epoch number 1, physics and chemistry. At the beginning of the universe, all information existed at the subatomic level. Epoch 2, biology and DNA. With the beginning of life on Earth, genetic information was stored in DNA molecules, and yet organisms takes thousands of years to evolve. Epoch 3, brains. Evolution produced increasingly complex organisms. The birth of the brain allowed organisms to change their behavior and learn from past experiences. Epoch 4, technology. Humans evolved into organisms with the ability to create technology. We are right now in the final stages of this epoch. Pay attention, right? So we are in the stages of technology, right? This is the technology epoch that we live in. Keep in mind, since the 1950s, humanity or civilization made a quantum leap in the terms of technology based off of where they were thousands of years before that, right? They made leaps and bounds. So this age of technology that we're currently in, right? So humans evolved into organisms with the ability to create technology. We are right now in the final stages of this epoch. So coming into the Aquarian age, we're shifting into a new epoch, right? They say 5th dimension, we're in 5D. You know what I mean? We did the great reset, we shifted and whatnot. They call that the Epoch 5, the merger of human technology with human intelligence. Biology and technology will begin to merge in order to create higher forms of life and intelligence. Nigga, that's Neuralink. Okay? That's Neuralink. That is Vision Pro 10, right? That is Neuralink. That is the chip. That is everything that they're talking about by making man a quote unquote a transhuman and whatnot. So Epoch 6, the universe wakes up. This epoch will see the birth of super intelligence, and with it, humans, machines expanding into the universe, right? So that's Epoch 6. The universe wakes up, right? Remember the code word that they're using, because this is their thought leader. This is the person who they've been studying. This is their Phil Valentine, okay? This is the person who they study, right? So he's not the only one. Philip H. Dick is a futurist, right? Who's comparable to what Octavia Butler is to us in Afrofuturism. He was also one who helped program the future and whatnot. Okay. And there's many others. But the merger of human technology with human intelligence. That's Epoch 5. That's the merger of what we're going in when the FDA approved Neuralink for human testing. That will go down as the beginning of this epoch. That will go down as one of the beginning stages when we will begin the merger of human technology with human intelligence. Biology and technology will begin to merge, right? So that's basically, that might be the Jabberwocky and the beginning of that with the nanotechnology. But the universe wakes up. This epoch will see the birth of superintelligence. Superintelligence is what OpenAI predicted that they're going to reach in about 5 years. Superintelligence is called AGI, artificial general intelligence. And after AGI, you get into superintelligence or super AGI. So that's the computer thinking for itself. It doesn't need any prompts and whatnot. It will be all thinking, coming up with its own quote unquote decision making apparatus, right? So let's go back to what we were saying, that he says, boom, understand the universe, right? So understand the universe with this company, they're basically saying in the wind down of the fourth epoch, he wants to enter into the fifth epoch, will ultimately usher in the sixth epoch. These are how they buy themselves time and whatnot. This is how they buy longevity in these fields and these markets and whatnot. But this is how they show their investors, billionaires who are invested in ushering in these epochs. They're invested in continuing the quote unquote narrative. They're invested in, pushing this thing into where they want it to go, right? Boldly go where no man has gone and whatnot. This is something that these nihilistic heroes and whatnot, this is their hero's journey. This is how they collectively come together and advance mankind. They want to tap into the universe. Their goal is to tap into the universe and to and to have that relationship. Some key dates along the way. By 2020, we'll have computers that are powerful enough to simulate the human brain, but we won't be finished yet with reverse engineering the human brain and understanding its methods. This will happen by 2029, when we'll have reverse engineered and modeled and simulated all the regions of the brain. And that will provide us the software, algorithmic methods to simulate all of human brain's capabilities, including our emotional intelligence. And computers at that time will be far more powerful than the human brain. Sound a little bit scary and liberating? It should. Kurzweil predicts, among other things, that biotechnology will stop aging, but will keep having sex and just get rid of the death part. So the goal of the Zuckerbergs, you know how they had that story that there was a billionaire who was draining his blood in order to retain his youth and whatnot. He's not alone. He's not alone. The more research you do into a lot of these billionaires and whatnot, the more you begin to see that this is an actual movement amongst them, and there's billions and billions of dollars in funding that that it's not even a black market. Like it's public. You feel me? And it's going towards anti-aging, immortality, and transhumanism. Okay? And a lot of these people throw rocks and hide their hands, and they'll try to play back. They'll try to play good cop, bad cop, but ultimately they're all down with the program. Now, Blue Pill posted this: groundbreaking experiment proves light travels through both space and time. So his caption, he said, talk about quantum quickening. This is a breakthrough for the ages in the field of quantum physics with heavy implications. Just in time for the 40-year anniversary of the Montauk experiment. Shout out to Ross Ben 188 for getting us mentally prepared, but also visually aware that these breakthroughs would be happening. Yo, big up to the Mondem, big up to the Star, big up to Ross Ben. You know I'm talking about? We got something coming up with Ross Ben. We're gonna drop a date for y'all. Shout out to the Ross Ben and all of his peoples and whatnot. But yeah, we did some classic shows and he did prepare us for what this year represents. Okay. So this is Neuralink, all right? This is what Elon Musk has been approved to begin to quote unquote experiment in the human brain. Just to show you how they're in alignment with everything that Ray Kurzweil is talking about with this merger of man and technology. These are all puppets. These are all frontmen. Okay, and they make them fake celebrities and and build them up and whatnot, put them in the public and whatnot, and they get funded for anything that they want. Whatever they need to happen, it'll happen. They need the company to get sold for a few billion. They need to, you know what I mean? All of that shit is available for them because these are like not just corporate America. It's not just corporate plants. These are agenda plants. These people are here to follow an agenda. This agenda is agreed upon at places like Davos and the G8 summit. All of those big dog places, they all agree on all of this shit. They're all working together. So this is what they're proposing, the Neuralink, right, to do for people. So we have a better understanding as to how far these people are taking things, and it's not in the realm of speculation and whatnot. Because people could take this information and create a whole lot of fantastical narratives, but we'll give you the facts for now. All right. So number one, for visual prosthesis, one of the engineers at Neuralink who works in the visual neuroscience department just said that this project has the potential to provide a visual prosthetics for people who have retinal injury or blindness through eye injury. The idea is to essentially plug a camera directly into the visual cortex and stimulate an enormous array of thousands or maybe tens of thousands of electrodes to recreate a visual image. And in time, perhaps the same technology could be used to produce some kind of heads up display. To this, Elon Musk added that we could actually give somebody supervision. One can see the world in various wavelengths like ultraviolet or infrared and radar. All one has to do is basically name their frequency and dynamically adjust the sensor to have superhuman vision. For telepathy, according to one of the lead chip designers at Neuralink, telepathy can be the next frontier for Neuralink. He explains that it takes an incredible amount of effort to put thoughts into a set of words. These words are a compressed format of our immense thinking capabilities. Musk, too, chimed in on this idea and added that the date rate of words is very low data, and we're putting a tremendous amount of mental energy into compressing the concepts and thoughts on our head into words. With Neuralink, one might actually send the true thoughts and communicate far better. Must call this communication, listen to this, a non-linguistic conceptual telepathy. What the hell? Let me repeat that for people maybe in the back. So he's coming up with a new form of telepathy. He called it non-linguistic consensual conceptual telepathy. Oh, he's a bad boy with that one. As an oscilloscope for the brain. Oscilloscopes provide visual information of printed circuit boards, PCBs. Similarly, the Neuralink device can shed light on many functions of the brain. The side effect of this device is you'll end up learning a ton about how the brain works, said one of the team members. unlocking hidden creativity. As discussed in case of telepathy, our communication systems are inefficient when it comes to translating thoughts. One of the lead researchers believes that there is a lot of untapped creativity in each one of us. For example, you know to close your eyes and conjure up an incredible, like Dali-esque scene. But you know, if I wanted to actually show someone that it would take years of honing a craft to be able to paint it. With enough electrodes in the right places, you could begin to sort of tap into those raw concepts or thought vectors and be able to decode that and show people primitive versions of music or even 3D model for engineering, he explained. Man, I said that that's crazy that they're planning shit like this. But I had said before that I with the Vision Quest that Apple is coming out with, I was like, by the time they come out with the Vision Quest 5, I really think that they'll be able to take your ideas and basically put it on the front screen. I think that they'll be able to take you, if you do thought, if you meditate long enough, you'll be able to visually see your meditations on that screen. And I think that they could take it as far back as taking a memory and putting it on a screen and whatnot, putting a memory in 8K. So imagine if you have a memory of a good time, you play a song and it brings you into it puts you into DeLorean and you go time traveling and you remember a time, right? Like Michael Jackson said, remember the times and whatnot. You will be able to project that in a virtual world on a screen through the Vision Pro. And then I read this right here where they're talking about unlocking hidden creativity. So when you think about how the Neuralink is going to work, it's going to have some type of apparatus that's going to be similar to the Vision Quest. Because if they're plugging in, if he's putting something in people's brain and whatnot, you know what I mean, to tap into their neural circuitry, then there's going to have to be some type of you know, some type of a screen that they'll be able to see. So I'm seeing maybe either some glasses or the exact, maybe the Vision Pro itself could be utilized in this. Nostalgia on demand. Oh, okay, look at this. Memories fade. They get replaced, edited through narratives. As years pile up, the original version is no longer there. Though this sounds like straight out of the movie Momentum, it is unfortunately true. So, one of the team members hinted at the idea of memories as repositories. Like music, one can go revisit the memory and alter the mood on demand. If this is cracked, then cognitive disorders like dementia can be easily dealt with. Woo! Damn, if they're able to go back and fix memories and erase them or be able to edit them, that's some crazy shit right there. And keep in mind, they got approved for human trials, right? So what does that mean? What that means is everything that I'm reading to you right now, they are trying it out on people as we speak, and they're collecting the data. Because what is a human trial? A human trial is you read me, you got in front of a group of people and you read the same shit that I'm reading y'all. And they said that shit sounds interesting. Prove it. And then they basically approved of you doing the test, to whereas whatever you do, you can't be held accountable for it, and they're going to provide funding and whatnot, and they're open, and by approving it, they're opening up third parties to come in, they're opening up insurance and all kind of other things. So yeah, the that I think that Pandora box has already been opened up. It's already open, you know. So this is the beginning of like Universal Soldiers. You know what I'm talking about? And keep in mind, he's coming out with a robot, a humanoid robot. A humanoid robot. So the humanoid robot, more than likely, they'll be able to take people's conscience with the Neuralink, like how they had transcendence. You could upload your consciousness into a robot, so you'll never really die. You'll never really die. This goes back into transhumanism. Their thing is this: even if they don't have, even if it's like they don't gotta live in the, even if it's them not living in the body, on some transhumanism shit, they're like, yo, just preserve my mind, just keep my memory. I want to keep up with the fucking SP500. Transhumanism, they like, just keep my mind. They just was like, just preserve the mind and put it in a humanoid, put it in the AI. You feel me? If the body don't stay, fuck it. Let me keep the memory and the mind. So that's what a lot of that transhumanism is. They going deep into this shit. Eliminate pain. Come on now. They gonna rock a lot of people to sleep. That, how niggas be like, won't be me. I ain't never put no chip. If Elon Musk packaged this shit the right way, where you could drive the Tesla with the chip, you don't even gotta use your hands, my nigga. I could see niggas lined up. The chip, the fucking the Neuralink comes with the Cybertruck. Yeah, you could drive the Cybertruck with your brain. You know what I mean? They going for it. Eliminate pain. One of the in-house neurosurgeons who was present at the event spoke how pain is essence of basically all human suffering. There are so many diseases today which can cause a lot of pain. Even the treatments can be painful. If this pain is somehow minimized, then the way we look at ailments dramatically changes. Neuralink devices could play a crucial role in this too. Oh, so they're going to turn off the pain receptors. AI symbiosis. AI symbiosis. Listen to this. This is some Matrix shit. This is the room with Morpheus and Neo. Remember they were in the all-white room, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna teach you karate, and he downloaded it in them, right? That's Neuralink. He sat him down, he taught him how to shoot and all of that. Yeah, that's Neuralink. They were in a virtual world. They was like in a virtual reality world. And in the real world, he had the Vision Pro. He had the headset on. Remember, they was strapped in his chair with the headset on, right? They was in a haptic chair because the chair was moving. It was a haptic chair. And they had the Vision Pro on their eyes. And they went into the virtual world, which was an all-white world. And then he was training him. And the training that he was giving him in the virtual world was also registering in the real world, in his real brain, because he was getting the downloads and then his body was shaking and whatnot. So he was getting those powers in the real world. So in the future, it's going to be to whereas you could get the upgrade in this virtual reality, you're going to get the upgrade in this synthetic or this virtual world and whatnot, but that shit will be able to register in your real life. You know what I mean? Super Saiyan shit. You niggas could be on your Dragon Ball Z. You know what I mean? In the virtual, you could get on your on your side. You know what I mean? But they'll have some type of Neuralink, nootropics, or whatever set up to whereas it will have people. This is some Matrix shit. So what is AI symbiosis? From the perspective of our species, form the perspective of our species, Musk reminded everyone. It's going to be important to figure out how we coexist with advanced artificial intelligence. And achieving some kind of AI symbiosis is where an AI extension of oneself is like a tertiary layer above the limbic system in cortex. Having that symbiosis can be good to have a world in the future that is controlled by the combined will of the people of Earth. According to Musk, this is going to be important from a existent. I always, I get stumbled on this word. Existential threat standpoint to achieve a good AI symbiosis, and that's what might be the most important outcome of Neuralink. Number 8, consciousness through the lens of physics. One researcher expressed his wish to understand the nature of consciousness. There's a lot of very silly philosophy that's been written about over the last 1,000 years, he added. But I think that we've been very limited by the tools and our ability to interrogate. And as we measure the brain, these tools get better. It will pull it into the realm of physics, and it's really one of the last big, great mysteries in science. So, as people say that they're not going to go for it, that's not something that they're gonna opt out to that. And I'm good. Y'all have fun. That ain't me. Black people don't do that. Right? I'm just here to say that theoretically, that looks like that might be about 4 to 5 years down the line, right? We're not there yet. We could read an article like that and be like, we could never. But once again, think 2030. Think 2028 a little bit, 28 to 30. But right now, before we get to that stage in life, right now where we're in the earlier stages of AI and biometrics coming together. You understand? We're in the earlier stages of that. We're 1 year out of the Jabberwocky, where a large number of the population have foreign agents in their quote unquote blood system. You understand? They were said to be nanobots or nanotechnology, right? So here we have in Wimbledon right now, one of the top players, right, who's breaking all kind of he's breaking the record books. He's playing with a nanotechnology patch on his heart, right? So he's introducing or he's mainstreaming a new science, okay, that exists right now that athletes know about, boxers, runners, swimmers, tennis players, basketball players. There are devices that they're wearing that are enhancing their physical capabilities. They're wearing devices that are able to read the frequencies of their bodies. Some of these devices have AI built into them, right? So some people have nanotechnology in their bloodstreams. Okay? Let's read about what's behind this patch and what is this? The technology is backed by several studies, including a study published in the Journal of Sports Medicine and Physical Fitness, which monitored participants' posture and split them into two groups, one with an active patch and one with a sham patch. The group with the active patch swayed less than the control group with the standing upright. The patch looks like a penny and is applied on the skin with either tape or a band-aid. In a webinar on Tuesday, co-founder Dmitry Lenov claimed that towel patch contains nanocrystals made out of quantum dots, which converts the body's heat into wavelengths of light that's emitted into the central nervous system and help brings it into balance. Leonov goes on to say customers have reported that the patch helps to eliminate pain, reduce stress, and it helps with focus. Okay. Might want to get into that. So we was talking about your boy earlier. And I just want to make an observation about how far some of these iconic figures in hip hop have fallen, and how bad and how much in peril shape the culture is in its 50th year, that the moguls got caught with their pants down. That the moguls got caught and exposed on the 50th years to show that these niggas is just grifters. Okay? And they're not those black excellent billionaires, and they're not the poster childs for black wealth. They're not the quote unquote poster childs for black excellence. That's not them. They're not the face of success. They become the face of bad business, grifting, shifting, lifting. So my dude got a cannabis company. This was all the way in 2022, and I haven't heard anything about that. But to each his own. And this just came out the other day that this brother is launching Empower Global, a digital marketplace for black businesses. He said, my mission was always been to empower black entrepreneurs and create more opportunities for them to access the resources, tools, and support needed to build successful businesses. Then he had this in a press release. If you go over to the page, the shit is janky as hell. No disrespect at all to what they doing. But I'm gonna show y'all I'm gonna show you a clip when we get off of this, and I'll go over to the Instagram page. It looked like he reading from a goddamn cue card. It doesn't look honorable. It doesn't look honest. It doesn't look like this was a business endeavor that a billionaire put together because he wants other people to get in. It looks like a direct response that your money is drying up and you're pulling straws, and you just got with a business that already existed and whatnot, and basically did a commercial for them. And it's a grift. It's another one of the grifts, So, interestingly enough, the album that broke the quote unquote in the second quarter of 2023, the album that was able to break the curse of no number one albums in the first quarter of 2023 in the 50th year of hip hop, Lil Uzi's The Pink Tape came out and became number one album, right? Some people were saying that this is not hip hop. I'm saying this is all the hip hop. This shit is all hip hop. You understand? There's no such thing as Lil Uzi not being hip hop, right? Because you would have to define what is hip hop. And I already told you before, the hip hop is 5 pillars, right? He is a rap artist, but what he is known as is a fusion rap artist. Okay. He exists in he's a conglomerate of many different genres all in one. And that's basically what a culture is moving forward. The culture is a hodgepodge of many different subgenres and whatnot. Okay. He is what I'm going to cover today, the nihilistic hero. Okay. He embraces the aesthetic nihilism to a fucking T. Okay. That's what Little Uzi represents. I'm not here to judge no man. This is not a show to beat up on none of these young artists and whatnot. This is not a show to even judge the young artists, but this is a show to examine and to diagnose, right? And to come to a better understanding as to who these artists are from an archetypical standpoint, and also from a Western philosophy standpoint, because this is pop culture, and anything that you see that's in pop culture follows a certain type of formula. Okay, nothing becomes but nothing will become American Westernized pop culture without adhering to certain type of formulas. They all fit into a narrative. Okay, they all belong to a narrative for that matter and whatnot. So we're going to talk about what that narrative is, so we can have a better understanding as to what we see in the culture and not be offended by it and not take it personal and not be so judgmental and point fingers and be like, oh, look at this, oh, look at that, oh, this person is, oh, I would never, oh, you know what I mean? I'm more so about understanding what's going on and what it is that we see. Okay. So let me just break down what aesthetic nihilism is to you, so we don't have everybody's understood as to what it is that we're going to be building on. So the definition for aesthetic is concerned with beauty or the appreciation of beauty, right? It's an adjective. The pictures give great aesthetic pleasure. And then it's also a noun, a set of principles underlying and guiding the work of a particular artist or artistic movement. Keep that in mind. A set of principles underlying and guiding the work of a particular artist or artistic movement. And what nihilism is the rejection of all religious and moral principles in the belief that life is meaningless. It's a noun, nihilism. The rejection of all religious and moral principles and the belief that life is meaningless. I'm a piece of shit. Fuck it. I want to go to hell. I'm a piece of shit. It ain't hard to fucking tell, right? That's Biggie's first verse on the song called Suicide Thoughts. Ready to die, right? Ready to die, right? Suicide thoughts, life, meaningless, nihilism, right? I'm a piece of shit. It ain't hard to fucking tell. Right? These artists exemplify a certain artistic movement in a certain type of mind state. They're falling in the lines of a certain type of archetype that you see all throughout Western culture, from cowboys and Indians to some of their favorite quote unquote, anti-heroes, to some of these Shakespearean, some of the characters that they have in their literature, all the way up to these hip hop artists who white people look at, right? White people adore, white people look up to, white people support, white people follow them because white people are looking at them through a certain type of lens, a different type of lens than maybe black people may be looking at them, because we don't have the same type of perspective that they have. They're looking at it through philosophy. They're looking at it through, these are nihilistic heroes and whatnot. And these are how they express themselves. This is how they carry themselves. This is their story. That's why they're so interested. What is their story? What's your creation myth? They want to read the periodic. They want to read your Wikipedia. They want to read your struggle. They want to read your backstory. They want to read about everything about you. They want to know. They want to, Nardawar wants to interview you and whatnot, because Adam 22 and Vlad, they want to know all of these things because they want to know where to place you in these quote unquote archetypes, right? So aesthetic nihilism is what you see right here in Little Uzi. He's a living example of the aesthetic nihilism that you see reflected in the culture of hip hop. This is the 2016 cover right here, where you had 21 Savage, Kodak Black, right? Little Yachty and whatnot. All of that, Denzel Curry, all of that is aesthetic nihilism. G Herbo, you feel me? That's all aesthetic nihilism. They all represent a certain Dave East, a certain type of struggle, a certain type of darkness, a certain type of anti-establishment, XXX Tentacion, right? Playboy Cardi, all of that is nihilism, right? PBN Rock, rest in peace. Ugly God, you know what I'm saying? These dudes with the face tats, you know, look at look at this cover with Boozy on it. Plies, Slaughterhouse, Young Dro, Lupe, you know what I mean? Crooked Eye, you know, all of these artists and whatnot. They was looking at these too. Like, yeah, these are all examples of that. Let me give you a breakdown of nihilism so we can have a better understanding. And when I talk about Western thought, I'm talking about the fact that the majority of Western man, as they teach you in your college, in their colleges, and they teach you in their schools and whatnot, they are followers of the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. Okay, so the writings of Nietzsche, the philosophy, the thought there, that's going back to, once again, their thought leaders, the ones who have programmed the majority of them. Okay, so Nietzsche is very important. So here's an overview of how the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche approached nihilism. Nietzsche saw traditional morality and meaning as unfounded. He proclaimed God is dead, to suggest that belief in God and Christianity could no longer provide a coherent value framework in the modern world. This loss of foundation leads to nihilism, the perspective that life has no inherent meaning or value. For Nietzsche, nihilism is a transitional stage that society must overcome. He believed we have to find or create our own subjective meaning without appeal to external sources like religion or conventional morality. Okay? Nietzsche's solution was the Uberschmank, the overman or superman, an individual who has the strength and creativity to define their own values and meanings. This superior person embraces life and power, rising above the herd mentality of the masses, right? The Ubermonks imposes their will to power and shape the world creatively according to their vision. They are willing to go beyond traditional morality to follow their drive for self actualization. Nietzsche viewed nihilism as an opportunity for radical freedom and individual self overcoming. Destroying old values allows the strongest people to assert their willpower to find existential meaning without absolutes. His ideas influence existentialism, which also calls on the individual to define meaning through subjective choices and responsibility in the face of an absurd, meaningless universe. So, in summary, Nietzsche saw nihilism as an inevitable given the decline of Christianity, but as a transitional phase for strong individuals to forge new values. His philosophy centered the human will to power in creating meaning amidst an ultimately meaningless cosmos. So, this is the foundation of what the anti-hero is fashioned after, right? Or what they call the archangel, right? So when you hear the term Uberschmensch or the Superman, that is ultimately what Hitler was also indoctrinating his people, right? To give birth to await, to look forward to give, to encompass, right? There's a series on Amazon called The Boys, and I've always talked about it. There's a character called Homelander. That's one of the best series on cable, hands down. It's a spoof on superhero movies and whatnot, but it's a whole season. It's 3 seasons. It's a adaptation of a comic book, and it's called The Boys. And in that series, the character who's the main character, he's like a fanatical Superman. He's like dark Superman. Definitely dark Superman, right? And he there's a plot twist in, I believe, season 2, where they reveal that he's basically the Nazis' Uberman, the Superman. You know, funny that they have the brand called Uber, right? Short for Ubermensch. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but that is the Superman that the Germans have always philosophized about. Blonde hair, blue eyes. And then you see Christopher Reeves, of course. And that's why they stand behind the Superman so hard. You know what I mean? There's meanings behind the Superman character. It has more foundation to what you know. Okay. So the Superman in this instance will be the person with the Neuralink upgrade. This will be the person who's able to use the Neuralink to basically clear themselves, almost like how Scientology could clear you from trauma, you know what I mean? Clear you from fear, turn off certain neurotransmitters in your brain. This is what they're trying to attempt. Let me give you some examples of nihilism. Let me flesh this out a little bit more for those of us who don't understand that this is the lens that the Western man looks at individuals through. Okay? This is the lens. This is one of the lenses, of course. Here are some of the most notable Hollywood movies and characters that have strong nihilistic themes and influences. Fight Club, 1999. Tyler Durden, right? My nigga Tyler, is a charismatic nihilist who rejects consumer culture, right? That's what he was banging on. He was banging on consumer culture, right? And he starts an underground club that descends into anarchist violence. The Joker, 2019. The Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, is a mentally ill outcast who becomes a murderous nihilist, reveling in chaos and the pointlessness in life. Remember, he was like, what is it all worth? The pointlessness of life, right? Like your average rapper. Okay? Especially some of the teenager ones. No Country for Old Men, right? Javier Bardem is a remorseless hitman and an emblem of detachment, fate, and the absurd violence of a meaningless world. True Detective in 2014. Russ Cohey, played by Matthew McConaughey, is a brooding, pessimistic detective who monologues about the futility of existence and a lack of higher purpose. American Psycho, the year 2000. Patrick Bateman, played by Christian Bale, is a sadistic Wall Street yuppie whose material pursuits leave him numb, driving him to commit brutal crimes. Taxi Driver, 1976. Travis Bickle, Robert De Niro, is a mentally unstable insomniac who spirals into nihilistic rage and violence against the scum of society. Network, 1976. Howard Beale, played by Peter Finch, has an on-air mental breakdown telling viewers their life is bullshit in an iconic rant about disorder and meaninglessness. Clockwork Orange, 1971. Alex DeLarge, Malcolm McDowell, is an anarchist thrill seeker who commits random acts of rape and violence informed by his nihilistic worldview. 7. 1995. John Doe, Kevin Spacey, is a disturbed killer who preaches to detectives Somerset and Mills about the pointlessness of existence. These classic films feature memorable characters whose beliefs in the absurdity, amorality, randomness, and meaninglessness of life drive their malevolent actions. Right? These are your nihilists. This is the infatuation that America has, right? For nihilism. Okay? If I were an A&R, I would look for an act that was nihilistic in its nature if I understand the environment or the temperature of the environment at that time. But the anti-hero, the archangel, the nihilist, the one who says, fuck the world, don't ask me for shit. Everything I gotta work hard for it. You hear nihilism and you don't even know what you're listening to. And you're infatuated and you're drunk by it. You know what I mean? You're hypnotized by it. You're captured by nihilism. It's a thought. It's a thought form. It's an egregor. It's a way of thinking. And it's a way of seeing things. It's pessimism versus optimism. It's seeing things through rose-colored glasses versus seeing things through rosy-colored glasses. Here's some additional examples of the anti-hero and nihilistic archetype that have emerged in Western culture. Oh yeah, and this right here, these screenshots, this is Claude 2, right? This is AI. This is an AI chatbot that I'm building with and getting information from. It's called Claude 2. Claude, like CLAUDE, number 2. You could utilize it. Go to poe.com, POE.com. You might have to pay a monthly fee, or you could use it a free trial, but definitely go and check out Claude. That shit is lit. Right? But anyway, so for literature, Meursault and Albert Camus' The Stranger is a detached, amoral anti-hero who commits murder without remorse, embodying Camus' philosophy of the absurd, right? You got to look into the philosophy of the absurd and absurdism, right? Study these things because this is Western philosophy. This is the thing. This is your enemy. This is your open enemy. This is what they revel in. Hannibal Lecter and Thomas Harris's novels rejects morality, delights in murder, and scoffs at FBI agent Clarice Starling's attempts to find meaning. Patrick Bateman from Bret Easton Ellis's American Psycho is an empty yuppie who indulges in violence to offset his numbness and lack of meaning. The Underground Man in Fyodor Dostoevsky's Notes from the Underground is an isolated misanthrope who rants about human irrationality and the meaninglessness of existence. In film and TV, the ruthless logical Agent Smith in The Matrix sees humanity as a virus and wishes to eradicate this meaningless anomaly in the otherwise perfect system. Do you see how they place it in? Peter Gibbons in Office Space starts rejecting the pointless routine of his corporate desk job after being hypnotized, slipping into apathetic noncompliance. Dexter Morgan from the Showtime series Dexter has no emotions and kills according to a code taught to him by his father to mimic human behavior like a nihilistic robot. The creepy serial killer antagonist Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men conveys the arbitrariness and inevitability of death through his coin flip murders. These fictional figures reject social conventions, act outside traditional morality, and embody the various shades of nihilism found in modern Western culture. They represent society's fascination with the anti-hero. Okay? I asked, can you give examples of nihilism in Hollywood leading actors? It's difficult to definitely state which Hollywood actors hold nihilistic beliefs, since that will require insight into their personal philosophies. But these are the actors, these are the roles that they played, and these are some of the themes that they played. Woody Harrelson has starred in several films featuring anti-establishment characters who reject societal norms and structures. In real life, he has advocated for environmental code. Matthew McConaughey played the enigmatic Russ Cole in True Detective, whose pessimistic anti-authoritarian philosophy aligns with nihilistic views. Jared Leto starred as the Joker in Suicide Squad, portraying the character as a murderous nihilist who believes morality and orders are jokes. Brad Pitt starred in Fight Club as Tyler Durden, an anarchic character who rejects consumerism and societal conditioning, blowing up credit card buildings as an act of nihilistic revolution. Jim Carrey has publicly discussed struggling with depression, meaninglessness, and the illusion of self, suggesting he entertained nihilistic ideas during dark periods of his life. Joaquin Phoenix played the disturbed sociopathic villain in The Joker who descends into chaotic nihilism. Phoenix himself has remarked on the pointlessness of existence. So I said, give me the nihilism in rap, right? Show me the parallels between the nihilism and the nihilism theory and what gangster hip hop represents. So they said, here's some interesting parallels between the rise of nihilistic anti-heroes in hip hop music and in broader Western culture. Like the fictional anti-heroes in literature and film, certain rap personas embrace moral relativism, rejection of authority, and self-interested egoism in pursuing wealth and status. Gangster rappers like Schoolboy Q, 21 Savage, and Bobby Shmurda depict the hood as a bleak, dangerous place where life has little meaning, driving them to violence and crime. Their lyrics convey hopelessness and survivalist mentalities. Tyler, the Creator's alter ego, Tyler Baudelaire, is a misanthropic loner who acts out violently against boredom and suburban ennui, similar to the underground man. Eminem's Slim Shady embodies the anarchism, rage, and absurdist humor exhibited by nihilistic characters like Tyler Durden from Fight Club. Travis Scott's music, aesthetic, and persona revolve around dystopian, apocalyptic themes conveying darkness and meaninglessness. The Weeknd's early songs, like House of Balloons, depicted hedonistic escapism into sex, drugs, and partying to fill the void. Little Peep's emo raps openly discusses depression, drug abuse, and suicidal thoughts stemming from feelings of indifference and purposelessness. A lot of the children are going through nihilism. A lot of the children that are tapping out. A lot of the children that are mutilating themselves, defacing themselves, crying out for help and whatnot, go and study nihilism, right? Meaninglessness. Why am I here? What is this here? Why are we here? I hate it here. I'm trapped here, right? So they're attracting to the anti-hero. They're attracting to all things underground. They're attracted to sexy red because that is the gutter. That's the root, right? The trauma bonding, right? Meaninglessness. Sukiyana, she said, "Fuck it, I'm disgusting." She's revealing a part of every single person, right? Because you have your public self, you have your private self, and you have your secret self. She's basically revealing her private self because that's what pornography and porn stars and strippers and whatnot. That's why it was so taboo, because that's your private self. That's the self that you're not supposed to show people. That's the mask. That's a place where the mask comes off in your private surroundings when you're with your loved one. But they brought that private into the now that's available on people's phones for everyone to see. So what was once private is no longer private. So these artists are utilizing shock media to just basically put their private self on Broadway. Like, yeah, I eat ass. I do this. Not me. I'm saying that's what they saying. That's what the ladies is getting on TV and saying. And they saying it with their chest out. Like, I'll let you into my private life. That's what OnlyFans is. You know what I mean? People are being able to voyeur. They're being voyeurs. They're able to look in through the camera and see what you do in your private life. And that shit is a booming industry because people want to see that. They will pay for that. You know, your Apple cameras is spying on you and whatnot. You know, they looking into all of your private life. You know that's not a rumor. You know that's true. That's the data that they sell on the dark web and to third parties, because your private life, that data right there is more golden than, how many times you go to ShopRite a week. Your sexual provocations, that's the real data. That's what they want to know, your secret self and your private self. That data is gold. But let me continue. So I wanted to dig a little bit further into nihilism, and I said, explain nihilism's appeal among disaffected youth. Explain nihilism's appeal amongst disaffected youth. So they said there's a few key reasons why nihilistic ideas can hold appeal among disaffected or disillusioned youth. Rejection of norms. Embracing nihilism can feel liberating for young people who feel oppressed by societal norms, systems, and authority figures they view as hypocritical or corrupt. Nihilism allows them to reject social norms, codes, and morality. That's why them niggas is gangbanging and throwing up sets and fucking banging colors. Right? That's nihilism. Lack of meaning. Young people going through identity struggles may be drawn to nihilism's contention that the world is meaningless, especially if they have become jaded by pain or adversity early in life. So, selling box for $40 on Cash App, fuck it, YOLO. You know what I mean? I'm going to get on a Greyhound bus as a young lady, and I'm going to go into unknown waters where there's orcas and sharks and whales and whatnot, and I'm gonna be amongst these killers, drug dealers, and $100 billers and whatnot. I'm risking it all, right? Fuck it, life don't got no meaning. I need to pay these bills. That's nihilism. That's all nihilism. In pop culture, is nihilism now, right? They broadcast. They managed to create nihilism, right? Or a nihilistic way of life, or nihilism aesthetics, or the aesthetic of nihilism has now been broadcast to every corner of the planet, right? And they're using black bodies and black faces and black throat chakras to do it. It's not punk rockers. It's not heavy metal and whatnot. You feel me? It's not Ozzy Osbourne and them. You know, it's Little Uzi Vert and Tyler the Creator. You feel me? And people like that now. Vibes Cartel. You know, all of that is nihilism. I'm just giving you a different way of seeing certain that some of these things have, you know, actual philosophical terms. You know, all of this is a study. You get to understand behavior just a little bit better when you study, you know, the brain, neuroscience, causes and effects to certain things. It'll give you a better understanding as to why certain things are being pushed and promoted and put on Front Street and whatnot. When you understand what that is, what that thing is, you know. Existential angst. The tendency for teenagers and young adults to grapple with existential crises about death, isolation, and freedom lends itself to nihilistic outlooks in this developmental stage. I'm sure that people could relate when you become a teenager and you just go dark and you just start acting weird and you get withdrawn and whatnot and you become morbid and shit like that and you go into a fucking cocoon. That shit gets scary as a parent and when you're going through it as a child. Reactive spite. For disaffected youth, embracing nihilistic themes can become a reactive form of rebellion against a society they believe has rejected them or failed to provide opportunity. Creative inspiration. Bold questionings of traditional values allow for crafting unique personal identities and experimental art, which appeal to youth seeking self-expression. So, of course, they're going to throw out, hey, we're going to call ourselves them, they, him, she, whim. And the youth are going to grab it because they're looking for identities. They're like, hey, whatever the fuck these weird adults say, we're going to go with it. You know what I mean? And they easily have become the poster childs for all of these experimental, you know, nihilistic ways of programming people because they're just looking for any identity that's not like their parents. They just want to identify with anything that's all the way to the left of who their people are. Look at Tyler with the fingernail polish, right? That's nihilism, right? Travis Scott, that's nihilism. Chief Keef and the killings and the drillings and whatnot, that's nihilism. It's all the same fucking thing. NBA Youngboy with the paint on his face, looking like a duppy and whatnot, a straight demon and whatnot. Nihilism. This is what the punk rockers was doing and whatnot. Face tats and all of that other shit. Chrome hearts, nigga. You know what I mean? Drilling and stepping on your fucking enemies and pissing on their graves and whatnot. Nihilism. You understand? Nihilism. This is all nihilism. That's why they was signing nihilistic. They was like, we gotta sign all of these niggas who are nihilism engines, right? We have to push that narrative. These companies know that they know what the message is. Either it's existential or it's nihilistic. It's either one or the other. So it seems that the record companies are leaning more towards artists who are more nihilistic in their approach, right? If I was a greedy A&R or if I was a greedy label owner, then I would manipulate. I would manipulate my artists and be like, I could see the prototype. I see the formula that the labels are using a formula. They're following a formula. You feel me? They must have collectively said, yo, we're going to usher in, we're going to only sign nihilistic artists that fit a certain profile of nihilism and whatnot. And that's what we're going to push in the culture. And everybody got behind and started doing that. You know? But these are seen as the anti-heroes. These are the anti-heroes, right? These anti-heroes have an appeal not only to black children or black people, they have an appeal in Western culture because they fit a motif inside of Western philosophy. This is theater for the white people. You understand? They're living vicariously through the rhymes, and they know where to place these characters, right? To them, it's like fucking Shakespeare. And when they get killed, it doesn't matter if they die. It's part of the fucking play. It doesn't matter. The death even it just makes it more lit for them. But this shit to them is like theater. It's almost like living fucking theaters. It's a living Macbeth, right? The anti-hero always dies. So they're just in the audience rooting on. It's us that don't understand the part that we play in this story. It's us that don't understand we don't understand egregores. We don't understand the hero's journey. We don't understand what the hell nihilism is. We don't know these things. So we don't even know how we're being looked at. We don't even know we don't even know what type of experiment we are. But yes, there's an appeal to these artists in the minds of the youth, especially the teenagers and whatnot. They're attracted to the anti-hero. They're attracted to all of this darkness. They're into shit like this. They're not gonna judge this. They're gonna judge you old niggas before they judge something like this. This is a representation of them saying, we're nothing like our parents. You know what I mean? And he embodies that. But he embodies nihilism. He embodies, if hip hop is dead, then this is what it looks like as a zombie culture. If hip hop is dead, then this is the underworld right here. This is the Y2K Osiris babies, right? They born dead. You understand? Y2K Osiris. They all born dead. And that's not a bad thing either. You know what I'm talking about? But they were groomed for death at 12 years old. If you was born in the year 2000, by 2012, you was on Twitter watching the war in Chirac, and you was 12 years old following Chief Keef and Little Reese and these niggas kill their ops. You was down with all of that, and then you got onto G Herbo and you tapped into the war in Iraq. So by the time 2020 came and you was 20 years old, you already known 20 rappers that died. Young niggas too, right? Not no old heads. This was all war going on between babies. The old people caught on later on. They didn't even know about these wars. So by the time 2020 came, when you was 20 years old, you already knew 20 niggas that got murked. And the person that killed them is on Twitter talking about it. That's the Y2K Osiris babies. You know what I mean? Them niggas is built different. You understand? You understand what I'm saying to you? They built different, bro. They just built different. But we're going to unpack more of this on the 25th. You feel me? I'm just breezing through. Those are all slides that I'm going to have in my presentation. I'm already past 100 slides. And I'm going to bring a lot more receipts, a lot more research, and a lot more images. And we're going to dig a lot deeper. All of these characters that you see on this flyer are nihilistic characters. They all follow nihilism. But remember, Thanos was right. Killmonger was right. You understand? They were all right in their assessments. When you go back and you watch the movies, Bane was right. I didn't hear what Uzi said. What Uzi said? They was all right. We gonna be all right. they wasn't necessarily in the wrong. Thanos was like, yo, he was on some Bill Gates shit. He was like, yo, we gotta shave off half of the planet. You know what I mean? You niggas he was on his climate change shit. He was like, it's too much carbon footprints. You know? And then after that, C-19 and the Great Reset came. The Age of Ultron, Thanos with the fucking Infinity Stones. He snapped, niggas die. The first person that he snapped that went into dust was Chadwick Boseman. Am I correct? Was he the first one to turn to dust when he did the finger snap on the Avengers? You know what I mean? Because I remember seeing Black Panther turn into dust, and I was shocked. I was taken back. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Make sure you there on 777. I want y'all to be in the building for American God 6. I'm gonna cook up a classic. You feel me? If you want to get the link, I'll be sending out the Eventbrite. No, that it's gonna be on KTL University. If you want me to send you the link, then I'll leave my email right here. Just send me the information, send me your email, and you'll get the link when we send out the blast and whatnot. I'll add you onto the email list. The email is right there to March 125th. But yeah, this is gonna be crazy. It's a lot of shit going on, yo. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack. You feel me? You know what I mean? But you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get to it. You know what I'm talking about? We definitely gonna get to it. So with that being said, it's a few things that I want. All right, cool. Tomorrow, right? My good brother Source Guard, he's gonna be in the building. You know what I mean? Tomorrow, episode 4, Source Guard and Perp, they gonna be in the building. You feel me? And I believe that's Mama Source. She's coming through. And then we also have Sunrise of Divine. He'll be doing a live review on his album, Super Sapien Sunrise. That's going to be fire. And that's tomorrow, mañana, episode 4 at 9 p.m. Pull up to Uplift and Heal right on this channel. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed. Make sure you go and stream the Red Opal. All right. Make sure you stream the Red Opal. All right. It's in the it's playing everywhere on the platforms. And we also have this 4 more weeks with Ra Aku. We just did our 4th class yesterday and we extended it. So we have 4 more weeks and that will be on Patreon. Check out this commercial. We'll be right back.
I can bring you straight to the curricula that I use without a foundation. So this 4 weeks will be used to familiarize people with the process, with the protocol. Right. And you will get some skills in how to delineate and erect a chart if you're studious. It requires studies. There's no shortcuts, right? That's why it's gonna be 4 weeks, all right? And you have the opportunity to get ready to use astrology in any means that you build your capacity to use it. Right? You're gonna have to study hard. It ain't gonna be a walk through the park. It's a complex science. Okay, but I do have a means by which to simplify it, where other people have left it complicated. Right? I've been doing it for quite some time, so I found all kinds of shortcuts, and this is what I'll be showing. Right? You come prepared to the class, all right? Be prepared to do some long division, all right? And some addition, all right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Good brother, Rod. Cool. And this Sunday in Atlanta, I'll be doing a live show with Chicago Crypto. All right. This Sunday in the A, me in Chicago in a private location. We're going to be doing a live Solid Gold Sunday class for all of my Patreons. I'll see you on there. If you in the A, if you live in the A, or if you in the A and you want to be a part of that class, also email me right here, the Mark125 at Gmail, the Mark125 at Gmail. I see somebody asked me about the Cash App. Let me go post that up too. You know what I mean? Cash App is Phil Moreland, and you'll see my face. It says Red Pill. I should have a tan shirt on, and that's my Cash App. You feel me? Yeah. So Chicago Crypto is he's in town. He's in the A. Shout out to the God. He's in the A. So we're gonna be doing something with him. He's doing something with Slice right now. As a matter of fact, they got an event going on. Then he also has something going on with Shyam, the good brother Shyam Mansa. And then we're gonna be linking up on Sunday. So he's doing something on Saturday dealing with sovereignty and NFTs. I highly suggest that y'all get down with that. For my Patreons, I think I'm gonna go live at that event, so y'all have access to that. I'm gonna give y'all access to that because that shit is, that's important. That's high level information. And then on Sunday, we'll be doing a Zoom. So if you want to be a part of that Zoom, just sign up to the Patreon. You'll have access to it. You know what I mean? Become a Citrine member. That's the top member, Citrine. And I'll see you on Sunday. You'll be in the building. And you'll also have access to all of the classes that we've done the other 4 weeks prior. We've been putting in a lot of work. And if you've been paying attention to the stock market and to crypto, everything has been going on an upward trajectory. There hasn't been crashes. It hasn't gone slow. It wasn't stagnant. The plane started taking off once we started paying attention to it. So once again, what you pay attention to, you empower. Don't ever let nobody convince you other than that. That what you looking at and what you looking at consciously and what you paying attention to and what you giving your energy to, you give it life. So we started focusing back on the crypto, and that shit is waking up out of its grave and whatnot, and it's about to go crazy. So come and get this cloth. Come and get this information. You know what I mean? You could already doubled your money if you had jumped in class and bought the XRP because that shit went brazy today. But, you got time. So with that being said, I'm going to leave y'all with the red opals. Love and light. Y'all stay up. I'll see you tomorrow. Uplift and heal. Peace.
Up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo. Few blocks before green, yet up in the jungle, coconut bundles. It's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands. I'm riding in vans, slide through your land. Hopping the sprinters, tore the underworld, popping the minter. Landed the turtles, I'm popping that splinter. Watching the snowfall, dropping the winter. Dodging the pitfalls, watching this bitch fall. And I still managed like Rich Paul. The paper was calling, I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up and squeeze, tuck it and leave, we leaving a stain. Fuck up for breeze, running the banks, causing a crashing. Feather the feds, Moorish the fashion. Horse was smashing, kicking the door. Waving for force, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm as Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Century of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the piece. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys. They going for 19. The summer is mine, I'm going for 19. Thunder and lightning, flooded the bright lean. The hunger was biting, hunger was up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo. Few blocks for green, yeah, up in the jungle, coconut bundles. It's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands. I'm riding in vans, slide through your land. Hopping the sprinters, tour of the underworld, popping the minter. Land of the turtles, I'm popping that splinter. Watching the snowfall, dropping the winter. Dodging the pitfalls, watching this bitch fall. And I still managed like Rich Paul. The paper was calling, I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up and squeeze, tuck it and leave, we leaving a stain. Fuck up for breeze, running the banks, causing a crashing. Feather the feds, Morris the fashion. Horse was smashing, kicking the door. Waving for force, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm as Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Century of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the piece. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys. They going for 19. The summer is mine, I'm going for 19. Thunder and lightning flooded a bright lane. The hunger was biting,